Gearbox, the company behind the Borderlands series, was creating a game from the ground up with the simple idea of Halo meets Honey Pop. Wait, sorry, Diablo.
Sorry, the games are so similar, I tend to get them mixed up.
The feeling of exploring an alien... The feeling of exploring an alien planet with a from the action in Halo, combined with the fun of constant running and looting with your buddies Adolf, the Pillsbury Doughboy, that one fucker who peeked under my bathroom stall in elementary, and you know, whoever else is down in hell. Now, when I talk about Borderlands, you may be imagining something like this, but for most of development, Borderlands was looking a little more like this. Yeah, kinda just looking like another realistic yet lifeless, ugly smudge alongside the other popular shooters at that time. This wasn't something they just shit out though, contrary to how it may seem quite poopy. It was just something they decided on after looking at a bunch of different reference sheets to decide what felt most like Borderlands. And this was the one they all felt was most like what they had in mind.
So wait, if this is what they decided on, then why did the game end up looking like this?
Well, first off, watch your fucking tone with me.
Sorry, just kidding.
Well, apparently, this is what the game slowly evolved into after taking inspiration from artistic works such as Gorillas and a short film titled Code Hunters. So, after some time, they came out with this completely unique looking shluter, as they would call it, which is just making the word shooter and looter share an open mouth kiss. Ooh, a shield. Can never have too many of these bad boys. So that's how it went, right? Not like they would just look at one of these works and just blatantly steal its art style and then call it inspiration, right? Son of a bitch. Yeah, this is pretty similar to what Borderlands ended up looking like, but in art, nothing is truly original. With that being said, some things can lean a bit more toward the unoriginal side, and the farther down that line you go, the more shunned it becomes. And unless you're completely transparent about it, I'd say rightfully so. I mean, look at me. I'm just a sex baby between Nakey Jakey Noodle and Ice Cream Sandwich. But hey, I'm honest about it. I wouldn't say this art style single-handedly made this game as popular as it was. I think it was also being lifted up by its other arm, which is great gameplay. And yeah, it may be proportionately shriveled and fucked in comparison, but this game wouldn't have blown up without it. You can have this super interesting art style and concept for a video game, but if the gameplay smells like poopy underwear, then it's just gonna flop. And our skag is gone. And it's not like I can just go look for him. I'm still being fucking blasted at. It's left me to die, huh? Borderlands really are rough. Buddy, you came back! Okay, shit, let's go. My shields! Now look, realistic graphics isn't a terrible choice, because even if it doesn't look exactly like real life, it still gets you in the mindset of, I'm supposed to imagine this is all really happening. I'm the one who fell in love with an anthropomorphic hedgehog. And I think even if the game is dated and looks like dog ass, it still typically succeeds at immersing you in the combat. With that being said, even with realistic graphics, Borderlands wasn't any less ridiculous mechanically. You would still see enemies' heads pop like a can of Hawaiian punch you left in the freezer. You'd still have people making goofy remarks left and right.
Not without guns. A hell of a lot of guns.
You'd still be jumping like you had a little flubber boy installed in the bottom of your combat boots. Actually, this is the one that stuck out most to the series art director. He felt like realistic proportioned humans in a realistic environment, and jumping with the might of a goddamn go-go gadget seemed a little dumb and dumber. That last one, didn't really work out like I wanted to. Yeah, so a realistic art style with the gameplay and tone that this game was providing didn't really blend so well. For example, the vague concept of Borderlands is that you and your character are experiencing this foreign land together at the same time while fighting off deranged inhabitants in order to survive as you uncover this foreign land's big mystery. That exact same concept could also be used to describe the forest. Obviously, these games take on very different art styles, and that's in order to match the tone and gameplay of each of them. That's not to say that this game is for Tonka Trunk Honkin' Toddlers, alright? Sure, Borderlands is over the top, goofy, and maybe not too deep narratively, but that's just it. Just cause a game has guns doesn't mean it needs to be some hardcore dragging your testes through the trenches, gear done, Call of Duty type shit, and Gearbox knows that. Of course they do, they're taking inspiration from Halo. And Honey Pop, I mean Diablo. And to Gearbox, combining these two means having a huge open alien planet to explore with enemies that aren't brainless bullet sponges, loot around every corner, and creatures like the Skag and its cousins, including the Fire, Shock, and Spitter Skag, who can hawk a corrosive acid loogie. Yeah, imagine a puppy kiss from one of those bastards. This game also has every gun imaginable to man. These men specifically, who created software to generate as many gun iterations as they could fit in this forbidden pancake, which ended up being, I think, like 16 different guns. Whoa. Just kidding, it's 16 million. 16 million fucking guns! Who? Why? Why did you do this? So yeah, Borderlands ended up having its own face, and I think it's fair to say that Bungie even ended up taking some inspiration from them. Looting is becoming more commonplace thanks to this game and its uniqueness. Really though, if this game didn't catch the eye of the general public like it did, then who knows if games like Destiny or Tom Brady's Division would even exist.
I got lots of crack!
How long have you been here?
I got lots of crack!
So, the decision to make Borderlands less on the realistic side and more toward the code hunters side was a decision everyone was on board with, right? Well, Randy Pitchford, whom you may know as the Borderlands guy, wasn't actually all too keen on this idea. He believed, and still does believe, that this art style is putting a ceiling on the Borderlands franchise, cause how do you improve on this? With realistic graphics, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to make it convincingly real. But how do you make a game like Mario Sunshine look better? Maybe give him some brighter colors, add some shine, give him J's. But those are all just opinions. The only thing you could really do to make it objectively better is more polygons. Getting it closer to the idea it was trying to represent. Did you think that bright and colorful was just a failed attempt at realism? No, it was a deliberate design choice to fit the game's tone and gameplay. That's why Unreal Engine remakes of these things just look unsettling. Sandy Cheeksford was clearly just looking out for the future of the series. He wanted to make sure that there's always room for improvement to continue making bigger and better games. But the aesthetic, to me, isn't one of those things. Why fix what isn't broken? Obviously, this game wouldn't suddenly be trash if it didn't have this art style, but it certainly might have felt a little awkward and surely wouldn't have been as big of a hit as it was without this perfect, over-the-top, challenging, fun, goofy blend of gameplay, tone, and aesthetic. And even without the aesthetic, it still would have made for a great game. But as Pitchford said himself, it's not good enough just to be great, you have to be great and known to succeed in this industry. Maybe they dipped a little too deep into inspiration for their art style, but like I said, nothing is truly original. But that's kind of the fun part. Creating something unique doesn't have to be this rigorous task accomplished by you and no one else. It's something that encourages you to look at your inspirations and your favorite things about each of them and slap chop them all together to create something you wish already existed. Oh, what are you looking at me for? You're the one leading the way. Oh, is this where we're supposed to be? Oh, alright then. I guess I better leave you to it. Take it easy, little guy. Oh? What's up, buddy? Thanks. Spitter scat? Pocket corrosive acid Louie. Imagine a puppy kiss from one of those bastards.